Hi, my name is Trisha Vanica. I'm a clothing designer and I have a boutique where I present my collection alongside other ready-to-wear and accessory lines. I've had short hair off and on since I was a young girl. I've had the desire as a young girl to have long, straight, beautiful hair. But at some point, I think my mother decided that it was too much work on her end. So while my father was out of town, I got marched to the neighboring salon. I remember being a couple streets over where my hair was cut into what they would have called a pixie cut at the time. I thought I was gonna die back then, but you don't, you move on. I feel most like myself when my hair is nice and tight, clean cut, styled a bit. When I first moved to Toronto, I had short hair once again. I had long hair through university, but then was sort of lamenting not having a date on a Friday night, and my roommates were, well, you're wearing army boots and you have a shaved head. Perhaps we should try another look. So, just as a challenge, I did.
Did you get more dates?
I did. I got a husband. At the time when my roommate suggested that, my look was not conducive to going out and going out on a date, I really railed against that. I was quite adamant about someone liking me for who I was, being able to get past, some sort of expectation of womanly beauty. At the time when the gray was showing, there were comments about, are you going to dye it again? Are you going to cover that up? Perhaps it ages you. I felt that it was much more authentic to just let it show, and that dyeing it or covering it up really, to me, wasn't really fooling anyone. Again, I thought back to my aunts. I had two, one who went completely white, and I thought they wore that with a lot of style and a lot of grace, and that I was going to use them as my inspiration. So I have this matte molding clay from Davines. If I don't put any product in my hair, as you've witnessed, it can look a bit like a dandelion gone to seed. Because yeah, you mentioned it's like it gives it a bit of movement, which is a bit more desirable rather than it just sort of sticking out straight all the way around. I am quite fond of the line Tata Harper. There's a lot of things I use in the line, starting with cleanser, all the way to moisturizing and serum. I generally use this at night only, Fran Miller face oil, but sometimes just to start my day because I love the scent of it. I'm not going to put a lot of it on, but just the scent of the essential oils, and I'll just pat it on. I don't really wear foundation, but I do like to even out my skin tone. So I'm mixing two colors in between seasons. Just a tinted moisturizer with an SPF. I also don't use concealer. I have found this product by Armani that's called a Corrector, and I find this more useful because instead of putting a layer of color on top, it just minimizes the dark circles underneath. I have a loose powder that I like to finish with, but when I travel, I just take my Chanel with a brush and just brush it over. I also find it useful if I'm going to put on eyeliner, just to have the area around my eyes dry to be able to apply that. I'll add in a tiny bit of eyeliner, and I find I can't do both. It's eyeliner or blush. It's one of those things where I feel like having both is just a little bit too much. Goes overboard. All right, so I'm going to try not to stick this into my eye. So always having had fairly ashy colored hair, my brows were penciled in from when I was a very young age, and as I got older, without even plucking them, they started to get thinner, and I had a moment when I was on holiday in Italy, and it was very warm, and we were just doing minimum of everything. And I went without eyebrow pencil, and it felt so liberating. So I decided that was going to be part of the look. I still occasionally, just very lightly right at the tip, I'll just fill in any patches. Very lightly, but I don't even go all the way to the end. It's usually just right at the beginning of the brow. Mascara to finish off the look. In the summertime, if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup and I've got a little bit of a sun glow, I'll just wear a muted pink lip. But if I've gone to the exercise of putting on some eyeliner, I prefer to have just a neutral lip. I don't like the two to compete. I do have some favorites. Bite, another line that I've just discovered that uses natural products, ingredients I should say. Ready for my day.